Thank you so much, Anthony. I have Anthony here. He is recently finished our 100-hour Steel Mace Vinyasa teacher training, and he is currently living in Paris, France, and he's from Bulgaria. Anthony, tell us a bit about what your training background is as far as kettlebells and yoga. Just give us an idea about where you're at in your training career.
So I started training at a young age, maybe when I was 14 or 16, first with football, soccer, and then slowly I start doing more fitness, and then I learned about kettlebells. And actually, I started doing more kettlebells during the lockdowns 2 years ago. I've always had a kettlebell from my grandfather that I walked around for maybe 10 years before I learned how to use it.
Nice.
And then I'm very interested in yoga and movement in general, as we all are. But the kettlebells are really something that I like, and yoga is really something that I like. And today I'm continuing to practice those, and also I wanted to start coaching because I want to have more interactions with people and to share this knowledge and this passion, we can call it.
Awesome. And you currently have a personal training certification, and are you finished with your 200-hour yoga certification as well?
Yeah, I finished my yoga certification in August.
Awesome. So you're fairly new in the personal training realm, which is awesome. Tell me a bit about your experience with Steel Mace prior to joining our program. Like, had you
Um,
practiced it on your own, just kind of learned from YouTube videos? Like,
yeah.
what was your understanding of Steel Mace before starting the 100-hour Steel Mace training?
So before starting the 100 hour, I had never touched a mace, and then I saw some videos on Mark's page and then channel, and I was like, okay, just skip those, and this is with way too much complexity. Yeah, so no, virtually no experience with a mace.
Wow. And now I see your flows, and I could never believe that because you've advanced so much in such a short amount of time.
Thanks. Yeah, people are asking me, how long are you doing this? And I'm like, 3 months. I started 3 months ago. And then,
So
oh,
cool.
really?
I love it.
Yeah, I love the mace. I fell in love with the mace, as many people do. I think it's like a partner.
So, what is it that you love about the Steel Mace practice that really lights you up and gets you inspired to coach other people?
Uh, so it's great fun. The complexity of the moves are really stimulating my brain, and usually I'm getting often annoyed by workouts. So this is I love the complexity within. And then what I discovered is the mindset part of the teaching, and I love to incorporate the mindset that I want to embody in my steel mace workout or practice. And then as a result, I had flat feet, and so now I stopped doing exercises precisely for this, and I feel way more stable and balanced. Um, I have the balance.
Okay. And you also had some shoulder issues happening before you started our 100-hour Steel Mace Vinyasa teacher training curriculum. Can you tell us a bit about what was going on with your shoulder and how it's changed and improved in the past 4 months of training?
Yeah, there were stages. So I injured it doing one arm pull-ups combined with bench press
Mm-hmm.
for maximum weights. And then this stayed like this for years, maybe 3, 4, 5 years. I saw some doctors. I'm not very a doctor person, so every time it's a friend that tells me this doctor is good, so I see the doctor and nothing happens that stays. And then with you, I was introduced to the somatic part of the injury. So I was thinking, is that linked to some thought process inside? And this combined with all the chest and shoulder openings that we are doing, and the steel mace work, it's I don't feel the disturbance, because beforewards when I felt the pain, I was like, I don't know don't know why is this there, what to do with it. And then I'm more like, yeah, it's still there, but it's not there is not panic in it. I don't know how to say it. And now I almost don't think about it.
Awesome.
It's really the torque part of your, I don't know, your teaching. It's, I think, I got great benefit from this.
Awesome. Thanks, Anthony, for sharing. So as you were entering our 100 hour, what were you searching for? Like, what was missing in your current skill set to be able to, offer your services full on? Yeah, what was missing?
So prior to joining, I was in a state that I wanted to really go into coaching. And so I was signed up for my yoga certificate, and then I was doing lots of kettlebells. And then I saw the 4-hour clinic, and I went to the clinic, and there were a couple of moments that I was mind blown, especially with the shoulder screws and all the mobility part. I was like, I've never saw this, and it's so effective. And the idea of yoga and then kettlebells or a weapon merged together, for me, it's lots of novelty. So also, as I saw your way to of how, I don't know how to say it, but I wanted to go further in this direction.
Yeah, a
Yoga
lot of our
coaching.
students, yeah, they come to us like you did, like wanting to kind of fast track to mastery, like understanding the mechanics and understanding how to apply it. And yeah, I've seen you do exactly that in the program.
And then I'm still learning. I mean, the program is giant. There is so much information, and then there is so much practice to learn from your body. Uh, uh, so I'm still learning, and this is only the physical part.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a huge body of work, and it's meant to be like a springboard to really get you thinking in the lens of a movement coach and looking at, biomechanics and 6 degrees of freedom and flow state and all these like high level principles. But yeah, it's like scratching the surface, and then you get to apply it and find your niche client. And yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, I think everyone can find something for themselves that they do not know, and my personal practice benefited a lot from this, and then my coaching also got a lot more fine and better, and with lots of concepts that are practical. There are 2, 3 concepts that apply to everybody. So every time I teach them to a student, they appreciate it.
So, what stood out to you most about working with me as your coach?
For me, those are your capacity to generate ideas. Every time I had an issue or a questioning, you propose different solutions, and for this was very valuable for me and very inspiring. And also for me the example with all the free workshops that you host, and just the volume of events that is happening for me, it's a great example what is possible. And yeah, and it's the human part. It's you're very uh, yeah, approachable. We can have a conversation that it's personal.
Yeah, I think in order to take my students from, you know, where they are to where they want to be, I think having that teacher-student relationship, which is one of the core aspects of yoga instruction from the early days, it's like you got to have that student-teacher relationship in order to pass down the knowledge. And so we're passing down this knowledge of classical asana, of circular strength training principles, and now these, you know, techniques using gada and staff. So there's all these, you know, different like lineages, if you will, of knowledge that we're passing on, and it doesn't just happen passively through the screen. It's like you got to, you know, create a relationship with your coach and your coaches, and really get into the dialogue.
I'm sensing that the example of your guru or coach gives you a lot of drive, and a lot of it's very motivating. You feel the energy of the and this gives you drive.
Yeah, and
This
that's
is
exactly what you
something
guys
that
get to do for your
I'm
clients.
experiencing with you, with Xander, and with Rena. Every time I have a call with you, then I'm like, yeah, this is happening.
Yeah, it brings it to life for sure. Yeah, any things that you've noticed with working with Coach Rena and Coach Xander, who are our facilitators for movement labs, and they do help with program design as well. What was your experience working with the FlowShot team overall?
With Rena and Xander, every time I'm astonished of their sensibility, especially with Xander. Every time when I speak to him, I see that he really has a conversation with me, and he's not, and so, and of course, lots of knowledge. I never put a question on Rena's knowledge or Xander's knowledge, but what I really felt is that they're attuned to you. They work with you, and it's getting very personal. And this I feel the connection, and this makes me feel better and more productive and more stimulated to do the process. And there, I'm not even speaking to form or knowledge, because they have all that is needed. They're professionals.
Sweet. Well, yeah, in order to execute a virtual teacher training, you got to have people that really know their stuff. And, you know, Xander and Rena have been coaching here for a long time, and they were students just like you guys, and they fast tracked because they came to seminars, they took notes, they watched the online courses over and over and over again. And now they teach the online courses in Movement Lab. So I think this practice is really accessible to anyone if you want to get dedicated to learning the techniques, practice, 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 and just refine your coaching voice, for sure. So my next question for you, what results have you gained so far from the 100-hour teacher training? Because you've done your 100 hours, you've done all your office hours, you've done all your movement labs, you've done your 2 seminars, and I think you're in the final stages of teaching your 8 hours of practice teaching before earning your certificate. What do you think has shifted for you? Like, what have you taken away?
So it's on multiple levels. So first, for me personally, I discovered a practice that it's my best practice with kettlebell. I mean, the Steel Mace Vinyasa and the kettlebell are equally enjoyable for me, and I don't have the same pain in my shoulder. I feel way more stable with way more balance, and I have more power. What is fascinating about the Steel Mace for me, it's all the stabilization work that it's done, and I can do things on a single leg. Uh, I have more coordination. I was thinking about swinging a mace on my bike and stuff like that. So my body get more capable for kettlebells and functional movement. And then there is the more somatic part. I mean the psychology that we are storing emotions in our body, and this is a whole new realm that I am very interested in, how we can work on trauma through the physical practice, and also the mindset. So something that I really love to set intentions in general. So setting intentions daily on my practice, it's very valuable. And then the knowledge. I mean, all the torque, the exercises, the frameworks, the 4-day wave. There is a lot of knowledge in there that I'm still ingesting.
Can you tell us a bit about?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to ask
Just
about
one last thing is that I'm more in a more connection with my body. Because of all the questioning, how do you feel? How does it feel? Where do you feel it? How do you feel now? I'm way more in connection with my feelings, and there was a shift around New Year's that happened recently.
Yeah. So what you're speaking about, just for those listeners that are unfamiliar with that, is somatic feedback, and it's a key component that we cover in the Steel Mace Vinyasa 100 hour. Is really learning that next level of how to coach somatics and how to understand that felt sense in the body.
First, start to understand it for oneself, and coaching will come with experience.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious about your experience doing our seminars. So in our 100 hour curriculum, there's 2 weekend seminars. We have them on Pacific Standard Time. So sometimes our European folks are doing them at crazy hours. But aside from the time change, how was it for you doing the seminars virtually with having your demo model and your demo client? Like what were some key takeaways from the virtual seminars that you did?
Yeah, the seminars are really intense, so there is all the information packed, and for me it was intense. So it was late hours, from 6 p.m. up until 2 o'clock. So for me personally, it was a bit complicated. Other than that, having a model, it's something else. I mean, most of the online courses you never practice, and having someone to start coaching to gives you, it's the step that changes a lot of things, because the first coaching, it's what takes the most of the time, I think. And once you coached someone, and as the material is so great, you're gaining confidence about that this is interesting and people benefit from it. Yeah, so I think you can say better about the seminars, because for me it was intense and at late night. So
yeah, I commend you. We have several people that are on different time zones doing the seminars, and I think of like the toss up of having to travel and then paying for lodging. Like there's this trade off, right, of being able to do it in our time zone. So it's like, yes, it's an all nighter, but it's kind of like a rite of passage almost. It's like, I care about this work this much that I'm gonna forego a normal sleeping schedule for a couple days, and it's kind of like, it's like a mecca. It's like a journey. You're going deep into this like virtual vortex of seminar and coming out different on the other side.
Yeah, those are like passages. The first seminar and the like levels, like this is the boss level that once
I,
you pass through it, you're a coach already. You have the knowledge.
so the cohort as well, in those seminars and in office hours, tell me a bit about your experience with just the people in the Steel Mace Vinyasa 100 hour. What kind of people are they? Do they inspire you? Do you make friends? Yeah, give us the lowdown on your takeaway with our cohort.
Uh, I've appreciated the contact with the cohort. The great thing is that there is also a conversation. There is a group chat that we can ask questions, stay in touch. Um, I made some friends, but never saw them and did not have other opportunities to meet them. But there is a lot of input because everybody comes from a different background and has different information, and everybody has its perspective. So this is enriching, or just uh, and yeah, for me personally, I'm not very group. I prefer doing things on my own, so I'm not very invested in the cohort. But I like the sense of group, and then you can ask every questions that you have, or you can share some information. You can have the opinion of other people that are doing the same thing with you, and yeah, especially on movement labs, it shows you that you are fine, that everybody has the same difficulties as you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and being surrounded by others that are working on, fast tracking and learning this very,
Yes.
big body of work in a short amount of time. It just shows you that,
Yeah, it's like I've done my program and I'm like, oh, I have to finish it by the next office hours. I cannot stay behind. Yeah, this helps also to go further forward.
awesome. So, what would you want others to know about this program if they were on the fence about signing up?
Um, I th I think you cannot buy um, inspiration and skills and knowledge. For me, the I learned things that I'll carry with me my whole life. So Steel Mace is great fun, and then the concepts that are in Steel Mace Vinyasa are very, how to say it, they're on the edge. As a someone that is training often and a lot and getting around people that are training, there were a lot of things I've never heard of, and so this is one thing, that this information, it's not for me, it's not a very spread around, common. And then if they want to level up on their practice, either in yoga with torque, or in steel mace with a weapon, or in mindset, I think there is something for everybody. So for me, if you can afford it, just invest in knowledge and self-care and self well-being. For me, it's a well-being program. I I managed from a more very high intensity, performance oriented, to more well-being and balance oriented. Really, for me, balance is the one word that I got as a result in every aspect.
Wonderful. Well, I'm super excited to have you. We're going to have Anthony do a few guest classes coming up here at Flow Shalis, and I'm really pumped to have you teach and hopefully teach us a bit about balance as well and your very unique flows.
Exactly.
Cool. So out of the entire program, I guess you still have a little bit to go, but what was your biggest takeaway, the thing that you valued the very most?
Torque. For me, the shoulder screws and torque. uh, I this is the thing that's really the biggest, and it's simple. And then there's lots of other things.
So if your biggest takeaway was something simple, just shoulders and torque, imagine how much you can, give that gift to every single client. It never gets old. Like for me, I'm always teaching people about shoulders, and shoulders are such an important part of our nature to be able to lift and to pull and to hold our body up, and it impacts our posture. So yeah, if you can teach a man to fish or a person to fish, they have fish for a lifetime. So you teach someone about their shoulders, they have the ability to, be open-hearted, have good posture, be able. Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs this today. Shoulders and the neck, and it's getting this too simplified, but yeah, this. And then I learned about torque, and then right now I have more single leg balance, and for me this is great joy to have balance, because my flat, and I no more get tired standing. I have more energy to do whatever I want, and this teaching gave me the framework not to do workout as a way to nourish my ego, but to find a more, but to do my practice that so my practice can nourish my life and lifestyle. So I got from something that is more as a compensation mechanism to something that can support my desires in life.
That's so wonderful to hear. Amazing. Cool. So thank you so much for the interview. Where can we find you online if people want to check out your Instagram or follow you? What are the best ways to get in touch?
I'm still under the waters, but my Instagram handle is kettlebreathlove, and I think this will be my main channel of communicating.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to when Steel Mace Vinyasa comes to France, and I believe you'll be our first 100-hour Steel Mace Vinyasa teacher in the area. So definitely congrats on that. And
It
we're
will be
looking forward
getting
to
this spring.
What's that?
This spring we'll see some maces swinging around the Louvre and maybe the Eiffel Tower.
Love it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Sweet. Well, thanks so much, Anthony. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Great summer. Thanks. Thank you.